Hey team, Tom and Alex here for another snippet. A little bit longer, so bear with me. You may want to pause this episode partway through if you're struggling with time. This month, the writing theme is focusing on inner strengths and confidence. And with that in mind, I thought it best to start at a place that's the opposite of these, by talking about something many of us will experience in our lives at some stage. Imposter syndrome. It's something we hear bandied about a lot without really understanding what it is, who it affects, and the impacts it has on all of us. As with all well-being challenges, when it affects one individual, it affects many. Despite our individualistic Western culture, our emotions don't live in a vacuum. So let's be honest, let our guard down for a moment and take a look at how we can help ourselves and others. Snippet number 69. Imposter. If you've ever felt fear that you won't live up to people's expectations, berated your performance, or struggled to celebrate your successes, then you may have experienced imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome? Well, it's a psychological phenomenon where a person persistently doubts their abilities and achievements. And that's the simple explanation. Now, let me tell you mine. Imposter syndrome has been a huge contributing factor in my history of depression and anxiety. Until recently, I struggled with extreme self-doubt, a fear I wouldn't live up to expectations, and an inner critic that berated my efforts and performance. I've written it before, but a strong inner perfectionist is not a recipe for a happy internal life, and often just benefits those around the person experiencing it. Couple all of that with a strong desire to achieve and produce something meaningful with my life, and it's a recipe for an exploding cake of giant proportions. Of course, many of us may doubt our abilities. That's normal, especially when we are starting out at something. But it's the word persistently in the definition above that hits home for me. When there's no escape from feeling inadequate, a fraud, or an imposter, then that's a problem. Who's affected? Well, studies show that imposter syndrome can and does affect anyone, regardless of gender, age, or experience. So whatever you thought, it's actually probably the opposite. It can affect high achievers, perfectionists, and especially those in new or high pressure roles. What's the impact? Well, those experiencing imposter syndrome may suffer silently with issues which go unnoticed until they reach a level of mental and emotional decline or burnout. And anxiety and depression are often linked with imposter syndrome. So it's important not to dismiss what you are going through, but reach out for appropriate help. In my experience, nothing appears externally until a tipping point is reached, and then all the plates come crashing to the ground. Unfortunately for high achievers, even that isn't enough to spur a change. So how can we help ourselves and others? Well, looking to the weeks ahead, I will be covering ways to focus on inner strengths and build true confidence. Until then, here's a few things to consider. For ourselves, number one, we can voice it. Often getting that inner dialogue out in the open can help you detach from its power and shame. Talking to a trusted friend, mentor, or coach or therapist can normalize what you're experiencing, bring relief, and help you reframe the story. Number two, name and challenge the story. Not everything you think is true. I'm going to say that again. Not everything you think is true. Naming the story you are telling yourself, realizing it is not always your voice, but another's, and challenging the dialogue helps to bring the power back to you. Number three, track your wins. I tell so many clients to do this. Our brains are great at remembering our mistakes and screw-ups from years past, but can also be great at remembering our wins if we train it that way. If you are overly critical of yourself, then you need to write every single win you experience and celebrate it in the moment. You need to show yourself the evidence of your success and feel it. It's a practice much like the one where you shit-talk yourself. Just now we're going to swap them round and start supporting yourself. Now for others, you can help by giving specific, sincere feedback. Don't blow smoke up people's asses. It's just a good rule for life. But instead be genuine and sincere, or just don't bother. If someone did well at work or in your personal life, let them know exactly what they did and why it mattered. This is the old behavior and then impact kind of feedback. And this is huge. It's going to feel weird, but weird can be wonderful, especially for the person who is silently struggling. Number 2, encourage and support. Don't critique. Look, let's be real. Some people are not equipped with the skills and or energy to help others. It's sad, but true. However, if that's you, then that is actually no excuse, because you can learn a really simple method that isn't rocket science. Listen, be curious, don't critique, and you'll be amazed at how helpful that is. People don't actually want your opinions and advice. They just want someone to listen with them for a minute. And number 3, be a mirror. Look, if you read the above and you've been listening and observing others, even just a little bit, you will hear and see their strengths. So help them see them too. Be a mirror. Simply reflect their strengths back to them. Something like saying, you know, you put people at ease so well. When I watch you talk to people, you give them your full focus, and when you smile, it lights them up too. Bloody hell, like how good is that? And it's something that my bestie actually said to me a while ago. For me, that broke through. And perhaps you can be that mirror for somebody else. Look, I could write about this all day, but I've got more to come in the weeks ahead, as we're going to look at how to uncover those inner strengths and develop some genuine confidence, not bullshit and bravado. And until then, just remember, you are not alone. Tom, XOXO.